This is KGW News at Sunrise.
This body cam footage shows a man experiencing a mental health crisis as he attempts to grab the gun of a Washington County deputy. You can actually hear him in this video say, "Let me kill myself." The deputy wound up stabbing him. We're going to explain how the county now faces a federal lawsuit over its general response to situations that call for a mental health professional. Plus,
Gresham police have arrested 3 minors who they say robbed a woman after she opened her garage door. What we know so far coming up in just a few minutes. Plus,
why don't we know about these black composers and black singers?
Jim Crow laws. A lot of the musicians that have found work here, they started losing those jobs.
so for this story, we're going to take you to New Orleans. Before it became a hub for great jazz music, the Big Easy was big on opera.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either. Later this half hour, we're going to meet some of the people working to restore that chapter of New Orleans musical history, a chapter that, for the most part, has been erased.
thanks for waking up with us on your Tuesday morning. Chris will have your traffic. Rod, what's the weather looking like today?
Okay, the weather.
Sing it.
Not much is going on. I'll sing it.
I heard the headline earlier.
Yes.
Quiet weather day.
Kind of quiet. And by that, I mean no big wind, no big rain. We've had more rain activity, with that said, overnight and into this morning than I was expecting. So it's been raining solidly up in Clark County for a while now, and the same thing over downtown. Our forecast, a few showers once the day gets rolling on. The bricks are wet. Again, we've got rain in downtown. We're in the mid-40s. The overall flow pattern has switched to the west, and that means you folks out in East County and the Gorge, no east winds showing up the remainder of this week. So that's a nice little pleasant surprise for you. 49 degrees at noon. I do like sun breaks opening up today. That would actually get us into the low 50s for a high. The chance of a few showers continues on this Tuesday. Chris, what's up?
You know it's early when the traffic lights are still on blink, right? Photojournalist Eric Patterson heading east on North Lombard through the intersection with Denver. And it looks like obviously a little wet out there, but so far that stretch of road looks like it's in pretty good shape. We switch to the freeways. Here's a live look at the Glen Jackson Bridge, I-205. Plenty of road spray out there, but we're rolling right along. The interstate bridge traffic looks pretty good as well, as it does at the Sylvan Hill. Guys, no crashes, no unexpected freeway delays just yet.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Chris. 3 minors are in custody this morning after police say they assaulted and robbed a woman after she opened her garage door just after 8 o'clock last night. It happened on Southwest Eastman Parkway near Powell Boulevard in Gresham. Dogs with Gresham Police and the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, as well as a drone, helped officers find 2 of the minors hiding in a nearby backyard. The third was also found in the area. The woman who was attacked went to the hospital, but should be okay.
A stretch of Lombard Street in North Portland between Baltimore and Alta Avenue is back open this morning after a deadly shooting there last night. Just before 10 o'clock, Portland police responded to reports of a gunshot at a bar on that block of Lombard. When they got there, police say they found 1 man dead. So far, they haven't made any arrests and haven't released the name of the victim.
And the man charged with selling fentanyl that investigators say ended in a deadly overdose has pleaded not guilty. Hugo Gomez Soto was in court yesterday on charges including negligent homicide and delivery of a controlled substance. Investigators say they used cell phone records to link Gomez Soto to the death of a 29-year-old back in December. This is the first indictment in Multnomah County Circuit Court for a death connected to an overdose.
Washington County is facing a federal lawsuit over the way it responds to people dealing with a mental health crisis. Disability Rights Oregon claims the county violates the law when it sends mostly deputies or police officers instead of a mental health provider to those calls. Devin Haskins is covering the story for us live this morning in Washington County. Devin, what do you have for us?
Yeah, good morning. So one of the main cases in that lawsuit happened here at the Kaiser Permanente Westside Center in Hillsborough. It's important to note Kaiser's not named in the lawsuit. Again, this is just where one of those main cases happened. And this happened back in October of 2022. A man named Joshua Wesley, having a mental health crisis and suicidal thoughts, called 911. The lawsuit says he asked specifically for a mental health professional. The Washington County dispatchers sent a deputy instead. Body camera footage from a Washington County deputy shows the interaction when deputies responded. The Washington County Sheriff's Office said that man attempted to grab the deputy's gun. There was a struggle, and the deputy stabbed Wesley with a knife. Now, Wesley is named as a plaintiff in a lawsuit against Washington County. Disability Rights Oregon's lawsuit against the county claims the current system violates the Americans with Disabilities Act and the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. The lawsuit also details other cases in the county where deputies or officers responded to mental health emergencies that resulted in trauma, arrests, and criminal charges for the people in crisis.
The bottom line is that people in mental health crisis need a mental health provider, and Washington County is not doing that. And it's a pretty simple remedy we're looking for. We're just looking for, the appropriate response to a mental health crisis, which is mental health providers, not police.
A spokesperson for Washington County declined to comment, saying they don't comment on litigation, but also added, we're committed to providing a professional and compassionate mental health services to community members experiencing a mental health crisis. The county also said that they've been working with ACLU and Disability Rights Oregon for the last couple months in their response regarding mental health crisis and behavioral health calls 10911. Back to you.
All right, Devin Haskins live in Hillsborough for us. This next story is along those same lines. Portland City Council today is set to hold a public work session after it recently came to light that street response is facing millions of dollars in budget cuts in Portland. So street response is an alternative to sending police on some emergency calls in the city that deal with mental health. Mayor Ted Wheeler recently ordered all public safety bureaus to find ways to balance their budgets. The street response team is part of the Fire Bureau, which is managed by Commissioner Renee Gonzalez.
Hopefully, we can find long-term revenues for Portland Street Response and for Portland Fire's core operations that won't necessitate these cuts.
It's unnecessary. I mean, this is political gamesmanship, and we have real people suffering on the streets.
The mayor's office, by the way, says that Mayor Wheeler does support Portland Street Response. Today's public work session begins at 9 o'clock.
And WashDOT announced that the Spirit Lake Highway up to Mount St. Helens Johnston Ridge Observatory will not be reopening until late 2026. You may remember last May, a landslide took out a chunk of the highway. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but some people's cars were stranded up there for weeks. WashDOT says its temporary road failed back in November, and now a permanent fix will take some time.
All right, Rod Hill, back into the studio now. Talking about a quiet day. What do you mean by that exactly?
Just some showers around.
Okay.
No wind. And I think it's a big story that there's no east wind showing up at all in the gorge the remainder of this week. We haven't had that many breaks from that east wind for the folks that live in those areas.
For sure.
And that makes it chilly. I do want to start off down in California. It continues to be the biggest story nationally weather-wise. Chris McGinnis was just looking at some of the sites down in Southern California over the last several days. 8, 9, 10-inch rain reports in some of the mountainous areas. Most of the reporting sites at airports, anywhere from 1.5 to 3 inches of rain came down just yesterday. So widespread flooding advisories and some flood warnings continue. The rain is expected to break up today, but still showers in the forecast, just not the pounding steady stream of rain. Showers in the forecast later today, tomorrow, and into Thursday. Now, for us, we were feeding off of an upper level low that was off the coast in Northern California. That system is pretty much fizzled out, and the flow of moisture coming up from our south has fizzled out. And now we're actually, if you look carefully, you can see we're getting more into a westerly flow pattern. And again, that's one of the reasons no east winds expected in the coming days. And the rain up in Clark County should be breaking up. It's been really persistent the last several hours up there. All the data I can look at still leads me to believe that once we get going into the day, it's just going to be a few scattered showers around, and we'll open up some sun breaks, something we did not do yesterday. So you put all that together, and it's a pretty decent Tuesday. Right now we have a temperature of 46, certainly comfortable out the door. Nobody's near freezing. Salem 43, Eugene's the same, the Dow's 42. Now you get out east and it's colder. Baker City's at 30 and Burns this morning at 26. It's a dry, partly cloudy day out here in eastern areas. Here's Futurecast. Now interesting, at 5 a.m. this morning it did show correctly that rain up in Clark County. So that lets you know, well, this weather model seems to be locked in pretty good. So what's it going to show the rest of the day? Here's just a few traceable showers around at noon. A few light showers passing at 6 o'clock, but some breaks, lots of dry time. Here's a wave. This is going to be interesting to see. This is a wave of rain coming in tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. So, boy, it's going to be raining in Portland, right? It just tears it apart. It literally rips the system apart along the coast. So we'll see if that comes true. I've got to think there's at least a 50-50 shot that we're going to see a rainy start tomorrow morning. But if this weather model is correct, that system will fall apart over the coast range, and we'll go on tomorrow not to see much rain either. We've got some light snow flying up in the Cascades right now, 26 degrees. Snow amounts up there yesterday at the resorts, anywhere from 2 to 4 inches fell. Government camp stayed above freezing during the day. In fact, Highway 26 just now down to 32 degrees, and that continues to be in pretty good shape. Real quick, the valley numbers today with some breaks, we get up to about 50 degrees. Winds will be light. Partly sunny skies, a few scattered showers during the day. Every day has some rain, but these systems are so weak it's hard to time them out or pinpoint them. I still think the next day that has no rain is Sunday, showing up partly cloudy to mostly sunny and 52, and that is your forecast.